What do you mean by animal welfare? Yeah, I think the first thing to say is we call it, and I mentioned this in the book, a so-called conglomerate concept, which is probably a technical term too far already, but all that means is it's made up of multiple things. So I use the example quite often of it's not ideal to be well fed but in pain, or to be thermally and physically comfortable yet anxious or lonely. You know, all of these different parts of our life and our life experience feed in to our overall welfare state, or state of well-being and quality of life. So it depends on multiple things, and the World Organization for Animal Health recognize that. So they have a definition that animal welfare relates to the physical and mental state of an animal in relation to the conditions in which they live and die. So it's something about, it's basically about how animals feel, how are they experiencing the world. But that has physical elements. It might be that I've smacked my finger with a hammer and something is wrong physically, and we can observe that and detect it and measure it. But then, of course, as we know in people, there's a mental element as well, and that's a big part of the book, looking at the science around how we assess the mental well-being and the subjective experiences of sentient animals. So I think that's the other important thing to mention. This all applies to animals that we believe to be sentient. That's that they have the capacity to have feelings and to consciously experience feelings. So the things that I might do to a rock or a radish are very different morally to what I can do to a rabbit. And the difference between the first two and the last one is that the rabbit is sentient, whereas the other two are unthinking, unfeeling, as far as we know. But,
as far as we know.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
So as soon as they're sentient, as soon as they have that capacity to feel, that's it. They're in our club. We have to pay attention to their feelings, and it imposes something of a duty. We can't just use them as though they were inanimate objects.